I opened my front door at 5:30 a.m. and saw my grandma sitting on the concrete like someone had forgotten her. 2 busted suitcases, 1 folded note shoved into a handle. She wasn't crying, she was just staring down, shaking, waiting. Then I checked my security camera. First, my dad's SUV rolled up with the headlights off. Next, my mom helped grandma out slow and stiff. Then they set the bags beside her. No hug, no knock, no goodbye. Finally, they drove off like this was a normal errand. My wife rushed out and gasped. We got grandma inside, wrapped in blankets, heat blasting. I unfolded the note with hands that wouldn't stop moving. It said, "We figured this was best. Please understand that was it." Like she was a package they returned. When grandma finally spoke, her voice was paper thin. "I'm sorry, Charlie. I didn't want to bother you." I said, "Stop. You're home." My wife added, "You're safe here." Grandma nodded, but she didn't look convinced yet. Over coffee, she told me the truth. Last night, my dad packed her things. He said my brother and his girlfriend were moving in and the house was too crowded. No warning, no plan, just a quiet eviction before sunrise. So we drove straight to my parents' place. A moving truck sat out front. My brother stood in the driveway, smirking like he'd won something. Inside, my mom was sipping coffee. My dad had that blank stare he uses when he wants zero responsibility. I said, "You dumped her at my gate." Dad shrugged. "She's with you now. Problem solved." I kept my voice flat. "You didn't even ring the bell." Mom waved a hand. "We had no choice. She's a lot lately." My brother cut in. "I'm not paying for a hotel when family has space." Then he looked at grandma and said, "You weren't happy there anyway." Grandma whispered, "I didn't want to be a burden." I turned fast. "Don't say that again." My wife stepped forward. "You threw her out for your golden boy." My dad pointed at the door. "Leave or I'll call the police." I said, "Call them." Explain the sidewalk drop-off. We walked out. Nobody followed. The moving truck kept beeping while we left. That afternoon, I filed a report. A PS asked for the footage. A detective watched it twice inside. He said, "This is abandonment." I said, "Yeah," and they thought I'd stay quiet. The next part hurt worse. My grandma had been helping my parents financially for years. Same transfers, same timing, no paperwork. When she stopped being useful, they replaced her with my brother's crib and called it family. Court came fast. My mom cried. My dad tried to sound noble. The judge didn't buy it. He looked at them and said, "You abandoned an elderly woman." My brother sat there silent, suddenly allergic to opinions. In the car after, Grandma stared out the window and said, "I'm free." That was the first time I heard relief in her voice. And here's the twist. Once she settled in, she wasn't a burden at all. She cooked. She laughed with my kid. She started sleeping through the night. It wasn't her that was heavy. It was them. A few weeks later, Grandma sat us down at our kitchen table. She said, "I let them think I was slipping." She'd played up the forgetfulness because it kept them from squeezing her harder. Then she slid an envelope to me. Property documents, investments, everything under her maiden name. My parents had no clue. She didn't gloat. She just said, "I wanted to see who stayed kind when I looked useless." Then she looked at my wife and kid. Now I know. Somehow word leaked anyway. My parents showed up at my door with a pie and fake smiles. My mom went, "Sweetheart, we miss you." My dad tried, "Let's move past it." My brother stood behind them like a shadow. Grandma stepped into the hallway, calm as ice. "You left me freezing on concrete." She said, "Don't act like you found religion." She smiled once, sharp. "Keep the pie. The door stays closed." I shut it soft. Final. A year later, they tried again because my brother blew up his fresh start and needed a place to land. My dad called from a new number and said, "We can be a family again?" Grandma didn't even sit down. She said, "You already made your choice at dawn." Click. Grandma rewrote her will with a notary at our counter. No speeches, no drama, just a pen scratching like a verdict. Now she drinks coffee too strong and tells my kid old stories. Our house is quiet in the good way, and my parents finally learned something I wish they'd learned sooner. If you treat family like trash, don't be shocked when they stop letting you back.